All right, y'all. Shalom. Welcome back. I've got my camera flipped. So the first thing I want to know from y'all is the picture weird? There is Mama Hen's Roost and Charles Sutton and Jay Johns. Welcome to Crew Neo Pioneers, and you get a shout out. And there's Buck Account, Shalom, and Buck Account, Shalom. Also, I have an external mic, supposedly. It's blurry. All right, so that means, let's see if I can. Oh, I think it means that. Is that better? Shalom from North Idaho, says Hunter Kirk. I think this external mic probably needed a adapter. Does the sound any different? Alien Cowboy 22 here waving hi from Missouri. And there's Aid. Any sign of vax genocide starting up yet? Whatever reduces the rat, what? The rat population is fine by me. I love the wine glass. Hi, C103. There's Mad Kelt. Shalom. Are you on the move yet? Lens is probably smeared. Is it still smeary? Mama said, looks good, sounds good. Sounds good. Okay. The other thing I did was I did download a mic app. You know what? I can drop this just a little bit. I don't like the having my chin cut off. I want my whole face in there. There we go. I did download a mic app, but it didn't seem like I could change anything on the phone with it. It just seemed to be like if I wanted to use it as a mic, I just tapped the app and now it's the mic. But I'm not sure this external one is actually plugged in. It probably needs some kind of weird adapter. Oh, there we go. Here, I'll show you this one. This one's different from the other one. It is plugged in and it's on the stand they said it should be on, and I put it in my mic space, but it's not really staying. Yeah. Still. All right, let's try just tapping it and see if you hear this. Do you hear anything on there? Because I sure don't. There's Aid. All right. Better. Looks pretty good to me, said the prepared homestead. Sounds good to me too. I think we may be running into each other here shortly, brother. I'm not saying more than that, but I hear you got some kind of jamboree going on later. There's Jay Johns. All seems good here in Kentucky. All good, Serenity Haven says. Sneaky is right. I would have missed you if my son didn't call me. No, we didn't hear the tapping, but your sound still sounds good. Okay, so I'm going to unplug this. I think this thing must have needed an adapter. It doesn't seem like it's doing a darn thing, so my regular phone is doing okay. All right, so I have a couple of things I wanted to talk about. Hey, Grace Acres, shout out to you. I do have life hacks I need to upload for the Neo Pioneers, and I wrote down a couple of them already, and one of them is here in the garden, so remind me if I haven't shown it to you before the live stream's over to show it to you. And it's a sneaky one because I didn't have one planned, and I'm out of my potato patch. Getting ready for it. Yeah, brother. We don't have a whole lot of plans, and we also don't have a lot of time, but we'll do what we can. We're probably just going to hang around and talk to people. Here's some of the potatoes that are growing in my potato patch. The flood that we had, for whatever reason, made them really leggy, and the black plastic is to keep the center part from getting overgrown with weeds, and I'm supposed to weed, but there's potatoes back there, and there's a cucumber or two in the smaller mounds behind me that are doing okay so far. The bugs don't seem to be killing anything yet, like the potato bugs and the squash bugs. And I was actually intended on sitting on the ground and doing it, but the ground here, we had more rain, and it's calling for more rain, so it's too wet. So I went ahead and brought a chair out for myself to sit in, and I made myself some notes. So first all, shalom, everyone who's here, and how are you guys doing? Friday, Saturday, Sunday is the God Family Gun Survival of the Remnant, 12 to 16 every day, 1600. There is Thankful Heart. You have a good, cool distortion going on. The cage looks like spider webs would do on them. Yeah, these are cattle panels. These are cattle panels just bent over. It is sort of the basis for a lot of what's available on Chauffeur Mountain, shelter-wise and fencing-wise, because we do have very more moist climate. So if you're going to use wood outdoors, it's got to be treated. Uh, we also have a lot of rain during times of the year. Like right now, it seems to be the spring monsoon season. Oh, now my tripod is a little off center. Telling you what, the recording struggles are real, folks. There's all these little things you have to be concerned about, like it's the phone level and stuff like that. There. These don't rust right off the bat. They last a long time. They're versatile. We use them for fencing, but also the hoop houses, we have some fence tied along the edge of it. I'll show you over here. There's chicken wire on this one. And on this side, I'll show you there's a plastic fence that we tie across the front to keep the chickens and the goats out. If the goats are determined, they'll go through that fence, but it's kind of a deterrent at least. And you can fence them more than that if you want to. So let's see your comments. My dad did that for years with plastic to make a greenhouse. Yes, and I've run plastic along them, plastic panels in the orchards. And you can use tin panels on here. You put wooden framing, and you can put a door and all sorts of things. Love cattle panels. So many uses. Me too. And they're still pretty affordable. Like they're one of the great off-grid secrets is cattle panels. Okay, so let's see. I use those for my greenhouses. Exactly. 18-ish days to come out for my people! Yay! Grace Acres, regarding potatoes, mine have beautiful greenery growing. What do I need to fertilize with at this point for them? I am not a fertilizer expert, so I don't know what to tell you. The fertilizer I used on the soil is just a standard 13-13-13, and I threw it. It's the kind that you can just throw it on the ground, and I threw it on the ground, and that is another reason they're so big. And my goal, I mention it all the time, I forget to do it, I don't make time for it, but I want to, is get the rabbit manure out here also. Okay, KC Green Country Preparedness, shalom. All right, so topic number 1 for the sneaky one is some sneaky low-cal drinks that I've started to use instead of Pepsi or sodas, because I used to drink soda because that's what our generation did. Everybody just grew up drinking soda. And so I started looking into healthier alternatives with low calorie, and I'm going to show you my 4 faves. And a lot of times I put them all together in a drink, which most people would not like the way that tastes. But this is coconut water. I really dig coconut water because 60 calories a serving. That's not a lot. There's 4 servings in this container, so the whole thing's 240 calories total, which is about the same amount of calories as a Snicker bar. It has 14 sugars, which is not a total, it's not a whole lot. It's 5% of your daily recommended. And it has 30 milligrams or 26 milligrams of vitamin C, 470 milligrams of potassium, which as you get older, like us, potassium is important for your heart health. It has 12 of phosphorus and 18 milligrams of magnesium, magnesium is one of those things that will help you sleep better. And the ingredients are just coconut water, pineapple puree, coconut puree, and vitamin C. So this is one. And I mix this with other things, and I really like that. And of course, the Warrior Beverage water, low calorie. You should drink a lot of that too, but I like some flavor to my thing. So then I just found this one. Zen. No artificial sweeteners, preservatives, colors, or flavor. 1 bottle has 25 calories. Come on. You cannot argue with that as a drink. It has turmeric in it and piperine from black pepper. It's an immunity booster, rapid recovery, healing, hydration, and Zen comes from the word zindagi, meaning life. So the ingredients are filtered water, organic cane sugar. So it does have some sugar, but it doesn't have a lot, with 25 calories in it. Mango juice concentrate, citric acid, natural flavors of mango and lychee. And lychee is one of my fruits that I really like. It's a light, sweet flavored fruit. Curcumin and piperine, vitamin C, guar gum, organic stevia. I like stevia too. That's probably why it's sweet. And some vitamin D. So that's one. And curcumin is one of those things that's a cancer fighter. So I just found that it's got a lot of different flavors. And the reason I'm telling y'all is not because I'm an advertiser for any of these things. I'm trying to improve your lives as well as my own. Then this guy, Bing, it comes in 4 flavors, and all of these were available, that are, what do you call it, in our local grocery store. And I dig it. This one has B vitamins, vitamin C, caffeine, and ginseng. And it has 40 calories in a can. Come on, 40? I think if you eat an orange, there's 75 calories in it. It has 10 grams of carbohydrate, not a lot, 4% of your daily average, 120 milligrams of potassium, 100% vitamin C, 100% niacin, 100% of vitamin B6, riboflavin 100%, vitamin B12 100%, and pantothenic acid 100%. Carbonated water, juice from concentrate, cane sugar, natural flavor, fruit juice, caffeine, ginseng. Oh, sucralose. I didn't know there was sucralose in it. I'm not as fond of sucralose. Potassium citrate, sodium citrate, etc., etc. Riboflavin, achai, cyanocobalamin, which I think balamine is what I'm giving my goat to reduce swelling, and flax seed. So that is this guy. Good amount of nutrition in it, low cal, and it tastes pretty good too. And the caffeine is what I like in the morning instead of having a cup of coffee or tea, especially when it's hot and I don't want to drink a hot drink. And then the last one is Kavita, which our grocery store started carrying too. It has 90 calories for this great big bottle. Fermented, water, kefir culture, non-dairy, gluten-free, caffeine-free. Sparkling water, kefir culture, natural flavor, cane sugar, apple cider vinegar, ginger extract, fig concentrate, lactic acid, lemon extract, fruit and vegetable juice, etc. So basically good stuff. So that's all 4 of them. And this is just my little, secret to you. Give up the sodas that are bad for you. There's now plenty of healthy, low-cal drinks available, which for a long time there weren't in America. There was just like soda and diet soda, which were all full of chemicals. So there's the Bing, and there's this last one, Zen, that just came out at our store. And those are my suggestions for you for a sneaky way to still have flavor in your drinks, but to cut down on all the bad sugar. There's not a bit of the, what do you call it, high fructose corn syrup in any of those drinks. All right, Serenity Haven Homestead said, my girlfriend likes Alanine New natural energy drink. Palmetto Paratrooper, shalom. Hey, there he is. Palmetto Paratrooper. Pastor sent you a text recently. All right, so Buck account had a question. Do you know of anything good for you high in calories, preferably something plentiful in the wild in Ozark? Oh, I'm getting a phone call. All right, let me answer the phone call. All the things I want to. Yeah, I've made my own kombucha before, and there's nothing wrong with kombucha. I drank it for a while, and I know how to make it and all that other stuff. And it's low cal as well. I just am not as fond of it as I was before, I guess. So, sister in Northern Pine, Michigan, I often use the pine tree. So high calorie out in the wild is going to be any fruit. like your blackberries or your elderberries, or if you can find, apple trees, pear trees, anything like that, and then your meat, your proteins, your deer, your fish, your nuts. Nuts have a lot of calories too, and good for you. Walnuts and hickory nuts, and like you said, pine nuts and things like that. It's just easier and better, not gonna lie, for you not to be running around in the wild trying to sustain yourself. All those guys who live that way are very, very slim. They don't have a lot of body fat, which on one hand can be really good, but your body needs a bit of fat. And having animals in a garden that'll help support you, you can grow the things that you need instead of having to go hunter gatherer, because that's really difficult. There's Aid. Yeah, we buffered because I answered the phone. Okay, thank you, sister. You're welcome. I don't have a lot of body fat in society. Laugh out loud. Right. It's not a problem for Palmetto Paratrooper, but he's going to need calories. Everybody needs a certain amount of calories, and it's just way harder to get it if you don't have a protein source. Watch the Alive videos, and you'll see how much weight people lose when they're eating only rabbit and getting one fish a week and everything. Your body needs some calories. Something you could do if you're in the woods a lot is make your own pemmican. Take some dried meat with you with some stuff. It's a different problem in my opinion. Also, yes, I'm very thin. There you go. So you need some calories too, being very thin. Yeah. Make pemmican. Make dried meat with some fat in it and some dried fruit. Throw some honey in there. Granola, even commercially bought from a natural food store, has a lot of calories, and so does chia. If you just put chia in your drink, you're adding a bunch of calories. I think it's a quarter cup of chia has like 2,500 calories or something. It's outrageous. Look it up. Okay, so I did the drinks. I showed you the potatoes. We've mounded the heck out of the dirt. I don't know if you guys could pick that up in the way the camera did it, but these tall ones, I've got to mound even more dirt than that, in the hopes that the potatoes will grow up through the mound. And it's been very wet here, so some of them could rot, but I'm hoping they don't. Potatoes supposedly like some water while they're growing. And they are getting attacked by some sort of bug. There's little holes in all of them, but I don't see the actual bugs right now. I'm learning the woods down here my first time through the Ozarks. Well, there you go. I was only able to add about 10 pounds any steak 2 to 3 times a week. Well, and throw a chocolate shake on there. Hey, Palmetto Paratrooper, camping this weekend at same place, same people. If you're interested, 27th through the 29th. Oh, nice. Get together. There goes Pastor. All right. So I wanted to show you the bug trap. And I'm going to have to walk to do that. It's going to take a little bit of a moving around. But I wanted to show you this bug trap because I saw it on a kid's video online, and I thought, wow, that actually makes some sense there. Like, he put some thought into it, and he also, I think he's the kind of person who didn't necessarily want to kill the bugs. He wanted to catch them and study them maybe, but I want to kill them. So here we are in another part of the garden. It's another hoop house of mine. This pastor has some and I have some, and mine is kale. I'm growing kale right now, right here. I got the kale, and the bugs haven't torn it up yet, and I've dehydrated some of it already. I love kale. And then the bug trap is this little doodad right here. And so it's a solo cup at ground level with another solo cup in it. And what happens is the bugs walk along and they get in and they can't get out and they drown. Now, I hope you heard all that. The one thing about that bug trap is I caught spiders that I didn't intend to have caught. But my hope is I'm going to catch the beetles and bugs that eat my greens. And here's some of my turnip. And I've already found, yep, they're already here. These little empire beetles right here. There's baby ones on the leaves. Or harlequin. I'm sorry, they're called harlequin beetles. There's one right there. And I was hoping they'd get in that water and drown, but it doesn't look like they're going to. And there's also some kind of cabbage. Some sort of something left some droppings there. Some sort of cabbage. What am I trying to say? Caterpillar or something. This whole leaf looks bad. I might have to just take that off. Anyway, I did catch 2 stink bugs in those bug traps in my other garden bed near the zucchini that I planted that Raincat sent me seeds from. So the bug traps do catch some bugs. They didn't catch the bugs I wanted, but that's not the only way to get rid of those bugs. You can spray, you can put the diatomaceous soil, and there's some sort of catcher that'll attract them. So I'm going to try those things too, but I wanted to show you those bug catchers. And let me just put this fence back up so the chickens don't get in here. I'm going to tie this. Here we go. All right. And then at the beginning of the live stream, when I was floating leaves past the camera, these are wild edibles. This is a lettuce leaf, wild edible lettuce leaf. They have little spines right here. I know I've showed you guys this before. Little spines along the leaf, and then the other one was lamb's quarter, which is growing all over my garden. It's kind of got a powdery white top. That's how you know it's that one. I'll show it to you there. Right there. It's also called like goosefoot or duckfoot because the leaf is kind of the shape of a duck's foot. So that was the bug trap, the solo cup bug trap. Here's one of my guardians. She's a really good barker and everything. She's just coming to check me out. Let me sit back down. I know the camera was kind of wobbly, and I hope I didn't make anybody nauseous. Okay, going camping. Nice one, mate. Aid, you posted something on the grams that I just couldn't give a thumbs up to. It was that thing with the bear and the rabbit. That was pretty crass. I'm not gonna lie. At least for an old lady like me. Gotta run. Take care, everyone. Be safe out there. Garlic onion spray will deter them. They don't like the smell. Okay, I can do that. I have garlic and onion. 1 quart spray bottle with 1 teaspoon of Dawn. That's right. I want to do Dawn. Spray on the bugs you don't want. Yes, I want to do Dawn. I get all these ideas, and then I get into life in general, and I get overwhelmed, and I forget. Hey, shout out to Forest Dog. The wild edibles here are in abundance this spring. I think nature knows something is coming. Well, and you've got to be able to take advantage of them. And one way to do that is to dehydrate them. That's what I do. My solar dehydrator already has a bunch of greens in it, and what else? And herbs. I've started drying my herbs in there too. All you said was bear, rabbit, and crass, and I know what the expression was. There's Netzerim at the gate. Shalom, Sister Kate. Good to see it's not raining your way. It's still coming down here in northeast Oklahoma. I'm sure it'll be coming my way. It's supposed to be coming my way. I'm taking a risk. That's another reason this is a sneaky live stream. I'm taking a risk that it's going to start pouring on me, and I'm going to have to grab all my stuff and just run in the house with it. It's now gone, Sister Kate. Why, Aid? Why is it gone? Did Instagram get on you about it, or did somebody else get on you about it? Because I know there's some dudes who I thought that was hilarious, but for an old woman like me, I was like, oh, jeez. Whatever. Because I just deleted it. All right, well, you didn't have to do it for me, but if you did, I appreciate it. I feel like that's the kind of joke you tell amongst your friends when you're a little tanked at like 1 in the morning. Whatever. Over 2.2 inches up here. Yah forbid. I don't want it in my area because I don't want the roads to wash out again. Although our pond is really low, and so it would probably do us good to get some more rain. And oh, I should show you my lily pads. Do you guys want to see the lily pads? I planted 3 of them. What was it? At least a month ago, and they finally came up. Here we go. Another walk. Hold on. If you get what do you call it? If you get nauseous with movement, close your eyes for a minute. I have to get over to the pond, which right now looks like a muddy puddle. So, here. Let's see if yeah, so that's my daughter's lily pad. He's now got 3 flowers on it. But behind it and up, there we go, up there is one of the ones I planted. I'm pointing this way, but when I look, my finger's nowhere near where it actually is. But it has what? 3, 4, 5, 6 leaves on it, 7 leaves on it. And then there's a little one in front of hers down in here that it's growing the leaves, but it's hard to see it because there's another underwater plant and those leaves are in that underwater plant. So it's kind of off that side of that plant somewhere. You see a light green leaf, that's very close to where that one is. So they were successful, and it made me happy because she tells me that's going to make this pond super, super healthy. And then the last guy, who's a fail, you can see the floater in the water. That's to mark where it should have come up, and next to it under the water is a bag where it's the root or shoot or whatever is floating, and it just didn't come up. Now when I put them in there, the water was much deeper. You guys saw it, or you can see it in the video. So the one that was an epic fail should have taken, but for whatever reason it didn't, and it's probably not going to now, and that's okay. I don't mind because 3 is better than 1. And all 3 of them have leaves, so they're healthy. And what happens is the lily pads allow dragonflies to lay eggs in the water, and their larvae can climb up the stem of the lily pad, and then they come out and they eat mosquitoes. And I love things that eat mosquitoes because we grow mosquitoes here, not intentionally, but it happens. We have vernal pools and a stream, and people have ponds and all sorts of standing water in the area. And so the more mosquito eaters we can have, the better. All right, so this live stream almost over, I think. I may have gone through everything I intended. Okay, that's not for this. On the other one. Here's my notes in my other pocket. Oh, hang on. Mama Hensroo says we will take some up here in northern Montana. Be happy to lend you some. It was pouring rain here in south central Oklahoma a few minutes ago. Yes, says Forest Dog. Thanks for being a channel supporter. Shout out to you, Forest Dog. Aiden, will you delete my above email? I can't. People, Palmetto Paratrooper should have it now. Palmetto Paratrooper. I'm looking at a house 2.5 hours from you on 20 acres for $99K. That's a good price. That's a good price. I'd like you closer, but that's okay. The wire makes it weird. Ohan says shalom, shalom. Eled Lumir says late, but shalom all. Your sound is good though, so Shell being good. Try mosquito fish, says Ohan. I just heard about mosquito fish. I think it was J.A. Dudley who sent me a thing about mosquito fish. That's what I have in my pond. Where did you get them? I have, they call them fatheads here, some kind of feeder fish for bluegill in there, but I don't know if they eat mosquito or not. Mosquito fish, goldfish. John Sweet, I know about goldfish, but goldfish are bottom feeders, so I'm not sure how they would eat the larva, I guess, while the larvae are swimming around. And there's Patty Sanchez, also a channel supporter. Shalom, Patty Sanchez. At the beginning of the live stream, I showed some edible weed leaves, and then earlier on in the live stream, I showed 4 of my favorite low-calorie drinks that have good flavor and good ingredients, if you're interested in that sort of thing. Okay, so the last thing I was going to talk about is my hummingbird feeder, which you guys may not care about, and I didn't bring it out here. I forgot to bring it out here. It's an upside down, looks like a vinegar bottle, and then just a flat feeder area with 8 little holes in the top of it. You may have seen it in some other videos I've done. And I wanted to give you a few tips if you can. There we go. Sorry, I don't have great service, I guess, because the storms. I go fishing more often the way I don't have to clean up the fish I catch, and I can stock the pond with them. Well, exactly right, but right now our pond, I think, is too shallow for most fish. If it had as much water in it as it had earlier from the flood, I think we could probably stock it with at least some bluegills. They stock them in the water creek here, so I went and caught them. And there's Swamp Donkey off-grid. Hey! They'll eat all manner of larvae. Okay, Jay Johns, that makes sense. We tried to get Medicaid for my husband so he can get treatment for his back. They told us we have to sell our measly little acre to qualify. Lampkeeper, that makes no sense either. Why? Why would they tell you had to sell your acre of land? That is just very, very strange. Do anybody else fish? Does anybody like to go fishing? Freshwater fishing? We encourage cliff swallows to nest near the house to eat adult mosquitoes. I haven't seen very many swallows in this area, but we had a bunch up in Kansas, and I forgot that they were mosquito eaters too. I'm really trying to encourage the dragonflies because I think they're more our speed, and we do have Shofar Mountain bats here, and they eat mosquitoes also, and frogs. Patty Sanchez says, I love to fish. And so does Mark Chase. Hunter Kirk says, love fishing. Nailed some bass 2 nights ago. They're going by assets, I guess. We own 3 vehicles, even though 2 of them aren't operable, a camper and a boat also. Well, maybe that's it. Try bats. Oh, hon, we have bats. They come out in May and they fly down our main road. So what we try to do is not bother the bats. I don't even know where they live here. C103 loves fishing, especially fly fishing. And isn't fly fishing mostly for trout, C103? And somebody mentioned crappie up here somewhere. I've caught 32 crappie and bass since January. Wow. And that's good protein, good fats too. Forest Dog loves to fish. Yes. There's Lone Star Living, channel supporter. Shout out. Oh, yeah. Lone Star Living's been doing some stuff down on the homestead, right? You were telling me some things, some improvements you were making. But works on lakes also. Most of the fishing I do in Washington is for trout. In Florida, it was usually bass. I used to fly fish with poppers for bass. Took your advice about applying for food stamps, got approved, $20 a month, used the first payment to buy 12 cans of spaghetti sauce and 5 boxes of noodles. Well, there you go, Lamp Keeper. Good for you. That's your tax money buying your food. I'm okay with that. You can make houses for them and nail them on the trees. That works great. I could, but it would probably be better if I just ordered them because I have so much that I could be doing that adding another project means it'll just get put off. Stocked my pond with 50 bluegill about 3 weeks ago. Where'd you get them, Anthony? Did you go to your local co-op or whatever and get the babies? Yeah. Pastor talks about going fishing. There is a lake around here with fish in it, but again, finding the time, it's really hard for us. We still have so much that we have to do. Wild raspberries are ripe in my area now too, the black ones. Expanding the garden, putting in a quail and rabbit dog food cage, good. Growing our chicken flock, great. I've got an incubator coming. I think I said that on the last. Adding to our sheep flock, expanding and better securing our sheep pastures. So many projects. It's true, and we are too. I've said it for years. We need more of these cattle panels and more permanent pastures that we can rotate our goats and stuff through. Because right now we have 3 and it's not enough. We need more. I feel you, Sister Kate here. So much to do and not enough time. Okay. Sell assets for Medicaid? A friend of mine had to sell assets for Medicare for her husband's cancer treatments, but Medicaid as well. Wow. Man, that kind of stinks, doesn't it? Local fish hatchery. Well, that's pretty cool, Anthony. They come to our co-op, and you can buy them. That's where I bought the fat heads. Of the many hats worn, I spent some time as a fishing guide, looking forward to figuring out stripers and white bass in Oklahoma, and then cooking them up in some grand gourmet style. By the way, the chickens I told you about are great. The breeds are amazing for meat and eggs. Look, you mentioned chickens. It's as if they knew you were going to mention a chicken. She is a brown Sussex getting ready to jump in the compost pile to see if I've put anything good. And that is some sort of meat bird. She's a something cross over there. Someone gave me her. Always an animal wanting to get on a live stream. I hope you guys got to see them. And the hard-boiled eggs. I've never eaten a bass I didn't love. The hard-boiled eggs that I pickled and then canned, they were kind of a tough texture, but I guess canning the hard-boiled eggs makes them tough, but the flavor was fine. And we're just going to see if the flavor improves over time with those. They are different from pickled eggs that you put in the fridge, because the fridge eggs last about a month. Canned eggs are going to last, in the can jar for years until you open it, and then you got to refrigerate it. Let's see. We bought a 1-year pass for a local lake, and we'll go on the Shabbat. Hubby gets in his Zen zone, and I get to read. He doesn't keep the fish he does catch, so we're not working. Just sport fishing, I guess you'd call that, lamp keeper. When I lived in California, it was striped bass, trout, sturgeon, panfish, and catfish. My friend lived in the ghetto, Oak Park, so we used to take his kids and their friends out at night to go catfishing. Well, us Torah keepers wouldn't catfish, but I've been catfishing in my life. Beats having no eggs, and there's Sheena's garden. Speaking of gardens, I'm sitting in mine, Sheena, right now. Is it raining right now? No. When there is no eggs, tough eggs beat starting. Right, and they can be chopped up into little pieces and thrown on something. It would make a wild salad taste a lot better. Friday night, Saturday are the only days I won't go fishing because I don't want to catch a monster and have to toss it back. Very smart, Palmetto. Trout line feeds everybody. Yup. Maybe if his fish were bigger, but he catches babies. Or trot line. Yeah. All right, you guys. Well, my live streams aren't very long. So I'm probably going to shut this one down here shortly. 1, because I don't want to get caught in the weather. But 2, I got low blood sugar and I need to go have my lunch. Sheena's garden, what kind of garden? Is it like this one, a veggie garden? Do you do flowers and stuff too? Does anybody else do any other kind of garden, like a rock garden or a fish pond garden? I know Janie Two Shoes had some, I think it was her, had some kind of seasonal goldfish pond, and when her fish aren't in it, she takes them out and puts them in aquariums in her basement. Later, C103. Thanks for swinging by. Palmetto Prayer Trooper, most of what we grow are perennials. That's my plan Palmetto. I like the perennials. I like the onions that plant themselves and the plants that come back after every year, like the blackberries and so on. Stacking buckets to the rafters gardening. Awesome, Ohan. It's like yours. I have a food, forest, tree, fruit trees, etc. Yeah, mine's not quite as permaculture as some other people's. And it's taken us a really long time to get this thing fertile. But perennially, all the way, it says Forest Dog, right in the middle of these plants right over here. My finger's pointing at them, but it probably, you won't be able to. There's some chamomile growing that got planted here like 7 years, and it's moved around and moved around. Um, and I harvest it every year. I harvest the chamomile and use it as tea. And good news for the perennials here, we were down to like 1.5 elderberry bushes in an area not ideal for them. It was next to a road, but the trees are so tall, the elderberry grew very, very tall. And for a couple of years, I was not able to harvest the berries. Too busy, it's too tall, I'd have to have a ladder, and they fell to the ground. And now we have like multiple elderberry bushes growing there. I love that. So, should be able to reach the fruit and gather the fruit from those. Um, Also down in the orchard, I've been letting the raspberries grow. I've got blackberries and raspberries right next to each other, but I'm not letting the blackberries get outside of their little limit. And I've let the raspberries expand. And so this year I should have enough wild raspberries to make jam, which would make me very happy. They're very tasty too. Good timing. I just sat down for lunch. Westhold, I need to go have my lunch. I don't know how much longer I'm online, but it's always good to see you. A Ledwin Mare, sure. Dog question. Lamp keeper. I seem to be growing daisies for some reason. I don't know where they're all coming from. They are, I think they're perennial too. Daisies are good. They're pretty, and I think they've got an herbal use as well, lamp keeper. You are blessed. I'm building more garden beds. I want to be able to help the elderly. I love where your heart's at, Sheena. That is very nice. Thanks for supporting the channel, Westhold. Back to packing, says J. John. Good to see you, brother. I grow in tubs too. Good. I'm not as good at that. I'm not good about watering. I love growing flowers. I love my veggies, but flowers just make the place look beautiful. I'm building a good orchard. Excellent job, Lynn Star Living. A lot of the flowers out here right now are the wild ones. The what's the yellow one called? Something about putting in buttercups, purple clover, and the spiderwort are all blooming right now. So the color, the natural color is, gosh, what I'm trying to say. The colors I'm seeing right now are the natural plants. They're not ones I planted. My iris has already bloomed, and I'm waiting for some lilies to bloom. I'm in Oklahoma. I'm still working on soil 10 years later. At least you get enough sun, right, Sheena? I like to do all the work up front and get a residual payoff for many years. Me too, Palmetto. And it's even easier if you buy a place that has a lot of stuff already in place instead of having to do it all yourself. I'm not going to lie. I triple tined on my food forest in the last 2 years. Excellent. Have a great week, says Oregon Berry. You too. Thanks for supporting the channel, Oregon Berry. The kids and catfish were back in the 80s. Unfortunately, the kids didn't have dads at home, either jail or ran off. So brother Joel and I took them out and stayed up till 3 a.m. cleaning fish. That's a dedicated man, because it's not the catching them that's hard. It's the cleaning them. Cornelian cherry should do great there, said Ohan. We couldn't find that variety. Now, we didn't try super hard. I think Pastor looked online and we were going to order some, but he couldn't find it. But we have some cherry trees, and my cherry trees, because they grew fruit and I didn't even know it or something, have grown more cherry trees. So we're going to have a cherry, what do I like to call it, when plums grove, a cherry grove down in that orchard. I just planted 25 more elderberries a couple of weeks ago. Good job, Forest Dog. I just got seeds in various containers this weekend. Excellent, Rachel Height House. Good job. My dog was bitten by a snake and needed epinephrine. Are there sources other than a vet? Wow, that's a good question. Just check your local pharmacy. Go talk to the pharmacist. There are drugs with epinephrine, but I don't know what epinephrine, like if it's in a cold medicine or if it's with a Tylenol thing. Um, and also, if they were bit by a snake, if you can get them to eat some charcoal, like put it in a bowl with some milk or something. Charcoal's supposed to be good for absorbing poisons. Our dog got bit by a snake and she swelled up really bad for about 3 days, but then their system fights it and it went back down and she's fine now. Sheena said, I just had a tuna sandwich. That sounds good. Calamera, Sister K, now I see you. Greek Homestead, I told you I could do a video on the hard-boiled egg canning, and at that time in my head, I'm like, sure, I could do that. I don't know if I'm going to have time to do the whole thing, but if you just enter canned pickled hard-boiled eggs into the YouTube search engine, I watched a video and that's where I got the idea and the recipe. So I suggest you do that. It'll be easier for you. And the lady's video, there's a lot of pickled hard-boiled eggs. That's not what you want. You want canned pickled. You never see her face in the video. It's about 12 minutes long, and she water bath cans the hard-boiled eggs. And if you buy a canner, the canners come with instructions on how to use them. A pressure canner is for things like stew and meat, and the water bath canner is for high acid foods like pickles. And so the water bath canner is the easier one to use. You're just covering the jars with boiling water. So I'm blaming you. We spent the weekend pickling and canning eggs and turnip pickles. I just hate that I had to wait 2 weeks to try them. We didn't wait 2 weeks. We should have, Westhold. I ate mine the next day and the flavor just wasn't very strong. I mean, it was okay, and I've got leftovers, so I'll try them again. But I suggest you wait those 2 weeks. What flavors did you do? You must have flowers to bring pollinators. A lot of what grows here attracts the pollinators too, like all the blackberry bushes. The land I bought sat unattended for 21 years before I bought it. A bit overgrown. Yes, it will be, Anthony, but it probably also will be very pure. Sheena's garden says she loves fish. It doesn't get cold enough here for me to grow cherry trees or apple trees, but you could probably grow peaches and lemons and oranges or something. Sheena's garden, I'm fighting Johnson grass. Yep, the struggle is real. And black bamboo, I hate now to hack it down because you can eat the shoots. I need some bamboo. I need bamboo here as a screening, and we still haven't gotten it. Have to go, got a meeting at work. Shalom and blessings to you too, Lone Star. I've searched it and it is confusing because everyone has a different recipe. That's okay, Greek Homestead. Most of the variety of recipes is for the pickled hard-boiled eggs. You want canned pickled. And so you're going to have to go through all the titles that say pickled, pickled, pickled until you get to one that says shelf-stable canned hard-boiled eggs. And that's where you start getting the ones where they're canning them. Sheena's garden. You could harvest the bamboo shoots and can them. You probably pickle them. Palmetto, you don't really need cold to grow apples. There's a myth. I've been growing apples for 6 years now. If you want cherries, try Lappin's cherry. It is a low chill variety. I do grow peaches. Found out recently South Carolina produces more peaches than Georgia. Yeah, and peaches are terrible to grow here, so enjoy them now. It's too wet, I think, here. Sheep will eat Johnson grass. Sheep will eat just about anything. It's true. They just cleared an area of our forest of pretty much every green thing in it, including weeds my goat wouldn't eat. We did it pretty basic. Full vinegar canning spices. I didn't use canning spices like that. I thought about it though. That was probably a really good idea, Westhold. Pre-mixed onions. I did that, and garlic. Yep. I put salt and sugar in the vinegar brine. In one batch, we added beets for color. That's very popular to do. I did not do that. And I added just basic dried spices that I had. I had dried dill, that went into the dill. I had dried fennel, that went into the fennel. And then I had curry, and that went into the curried ones. Susan Bryant. Shalom, Susan Bryant, channel supporter. I've been focusing 100% on freeze drying. I haven't canned or dehydrated in a while. Freeze drying is, tasty and easy. And if you don't mind the electricity bill, it works great. The older I get, the more I understand and appreciate your mission of feeding the really elderly. Yeah, right? Because so much of the time, nursing homes and hospitals and stuff just give them canned whatever. And we really need all the nutrients that come from fresh food. Oh, that's sweet, Sheena's garden. And there's Colleen. Bless y'all. When I made pickled radishes, I noticed a theme with all the recipes. 2/3 vinegar, 1/3 water, and 1 tablespoon salt. Then seasoned to taste. Made 11 jars with this year's radish harvest. We've got radishes that a brother planted, and I have done I've put them in some stir fries and stuff, but I haven't thought of pickling them. But the recipe that I did was half and half. It was 8 cups of vinegar and 8 cups of water and like 3/4 cup of sugar. And I don't remember, maybe like 4 teaspoons of Himalayan salt. So the brine itself is what the vinegar, the acidity is what helps keep the fruit and everything from going bad. And your salt and your sugar are preservatives as well. The water is, I think, to help with the spices, because the spices often are dry. And so I'm not even sure if it's to keep the vegetable or whatever plump as well with all the water. And then the onions and stuff are for flavor. My father-in-law complained about the food at both of the homes he stayed in, said Lampkeeper. And I've got 15% charge. I'm going to have to get off. Radish greens are pretty good too. Had them for the first time this year out of our garden. Haven't even tried them, Westhold. I've got turnip greens. Plenty to can, but canning jars are so expensive. Yeah, Sheena's garden, it's so much better if you can go to a yard sale or like a estate sale and buy them, 100 for $10 or something. To go buy them in the store, it is expensive right now. Gotta go haul water and get it filtered if the wind doesn't blow me down. Love you, y'all. All right, DK, I'm going to take your thing and I'm going to say I'm closing it down now. I need to go in before I get rained on and I'm hungry, but I appreciate everyone's showing up. All your tips, your questions and everything, your support of the channel. Just appreciate the heck out of you guys, and things are getting weirder and weirder. Biden apparently said something about capping nurses' pay. I haven't researched it, but I saw something on the Instagram and I thought, there you go. He's trying to kill healthcare as well. Just awful, awful time. So stay prepping, keep doing for yourselves. Good to see everybody. Have a great day. Be blessed, everybody. Shalom, shalom, shalom. Wonderful comments, y'all.